I was paying $2,500 a month for my sister's rent, and in return, she called me a jerk and cut me off. I stopped paying, and what followed would leave her stunned forever. The crisp New York air did little to quell the fury that boiled in my chest. My sister, who called me every month in tears, begging for rent money because she couldn't even afford food, was living a lavish life. My jaw clenched. This time, she would be the one to face the consequences. The night air sliced through me as I walked down Fifth Avenue, my steps quick and purposeful. A sense of dread had been gnawing at me all day, that nagging feeling that something wasn't right. For 3 years, I had been paying my younger sister Emily's rent, $2,500 each month. It wasn't easy, but I told myself I was doing it for family, for love, for responsibility. I can't afford food, Alex. The electric bill is a joke. If I move, I'll be in danger. You're the only one who can help me, she'd pleaded. Her words echoed in my mind as I reached the door of her building. Steeling myself, I rang the bell. Silence. I tried again. Still nothing. A deep sense of unease settled over me. I pulled out my spare key, another favor Emily had requested when she first moved in, and unlocked the door. What I saw inside made me freeze. 2 blonde men, probably tourists, lounged in my living room. In my living room, there were wine glasses on the table, a New York guidebook open, and backpacks scattered on the floor. One of them smiled at me. "Ah, you must be the owner," he said, his English thick with a German accent. "This place is amazing. Thanks for letting us stay here." Everything around me tilted. "Excuse me?" I managed, my pulse racing. "We booked this through Airbnb last week. My wife and I just love it here." Airbnb. The words didn't register right away. The world seemed to pause. I pulled my phone from my pocket, hands trembling, and opened the Airbnb app. My stomach twisted when I typed in the address. Luxury apartment in the heart of New York City, $400 per night. "No," I whispered, but my eyes scanned the listing. The photos, every corner of the apartment, were all too familiar. The marble table I had chosen, the designer lamp Emily had insisted on, my sofa, my bed. But the description made my blood run cold. A luxurious oasis in New York's most exclusive neighborhood, 24/7 customer service, perfect for travelers seeking comfort and exclusivity. I could hardly breathe. My phone slipped from my fingers, but I grabbed it again, my grip white-knuckled. Emily had scammed me. She hadn't just lied. She had used me. She'd been taking my money, while pocketing so much more, renting my apartment to strangers. "Everything okay?" the tourist asked, noticing my stunned expression. I didn't answer. I was too overwhelmed by the rage crashing through me, my mind whirling. How long had she been doing this? Was she lying from the start? How many tourists had stayed in my apartment while I paid her bills? I closed my eyes, trying to focus, to calm the storm building inside me. My fists clenched so tight my nails bit into my skin. Emily had no idea what was coming. Without saying a word, I turned and left the apartment. New York gleamed under the night sky, but it felt filthy to me now. I drove aimlessly, the city lights blurring through my windshield. I couldn't go home, not yet. The anger was a beast inside me, and I needed to think. She had scammed me. This wasn't just about money, it was about betrayal, manipulation, the cruel mockery of everything I'd done for her. I couldn't just call her and scream. I needed to destroy her, with strategy, with precision. I pulled into a 24-hour cafe and opened my phone. The Airbnb listing was still on the screen. My hands shook as I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. I knew what I had to do. I opened Instagram. At @EmilyMorgan_LuxLife. The first few photos were a punch to my gut. Emily at the Four Seasons Hotel, champagne in hand, the Manhattan skyline behind her. Emily posing with a Michelin star dish. Emily by the pool at the Plaza Hotel, in a bikini, holding a cocktail, with the caption, "Work hard, enjoy harder." The irony was almost unbearable. Work hard. I kept scrolling, pictures of Emily in designer clothes, with luxury luggage at the airport, dining at the city's most exclusive spots. Every single post was a slap in the face. How much of this luxury was stolen from me? A lump rose in my throat. Then I opened her story highlights and saw a folder titled, My Sweet Home. I clicked. The first video was a tour of the apartment, the one I had been paying for. But it wasn't a home. It was a showpiece for tourists. She panned the living room, the kitchen, the view from the balcony. I worked so hard to get this place, but it was worth it. Her voiceover chimed, so sweet. The next video showed a smiling couple, standing in the living room. Welcome to New York. Hope you enjoy your stay in my apartment. I almost dropped my phone. Oh, Emily. I muttered under my breath, feeling my blood simmer with fury. Shutting my eyes, I took a deep breath, forcing the rage back. This wasn't just a lie anymore. This was an insult, a slap in the face. Then, my phone vibrated. Emily, at home. Why? I glanced at the time, 12:23 a.m. At home. My jaw tightened as I reopened the Airbnb app. My apartment's listing was still up, status, booked until Saturday. Emily wasn't home. So where the hell was she? Clenching my teeth, I scrolled through her Instagram stories until I found what I was looking for. Location, the Plaza Hotel. 2 hours ago, she had posted a story from the bar, swirling a cocktail in her manicured fingers. The caption read, A toast to the life I deserve. A cold laugh escaped me. The life you deserve? I started the car. She had no idea what was coming. The engine roared as I cut through the near-empty streets of Manhattan, the city lights a blur in my peripheral vision. My grip on the wheel was vice-tight, my knuckles white. One thought kept circling in my mind, Emily, lounging in a luxury hotel, toasting to her deserved life, while I paid her damn rent. Not anymore. I swerved sharply into Columbus Circle and parked right in front of the plaza. My steps were swift, fueled by purpose. She had no idea I had unraveled her web of lies. The hotel's grand lobby was a spectacle of wealth, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, murmured conversations over expensive scotch. I scanned the room, and there she was. Emily. Lounging on a velvet couch at the bar, looking as effortless as ever, a glass of Dom Perignon in hand, her lips curled in an easy smile. She wasn't alone. A suited man sat across from her, leaning in, clearly enraptured. He looked like one of those finance guys who played at being rich with borrowed money. And Emily? She was the perfect picture of a woman who thrived off other people's wallets. A sharp pulse of rage ran up my spine. No more. I closed the distance between us, ignoring the murmurs, the curious glances. Emily was laughing, swirling her champagne until her eyes met mine. She froze. The color drained from her face. What are you doing here? She stammered, her fingers tightening around the glass. The man beside her glanced up, puzzled. I didn't even spare him a look. Stand up, I said, my voice low, controlled. Emily blinked, feigning confusion. Alex, this isn't the time. Stand, now. Her lips parted slightly, a nervous breath escaping her. Please, don't make a scene, she whispered. A scene? A dry chuckle left me as I pulled out my phone and tossed it onto the table. The Airbnb listing stared back at her. Her Airbnb listing. Emily's face fell. This isn't. Don't insult my intelligence. I cut her off, leaning in, voice razor sharp. 3 years, Emily. 3 damn years I've been paying your rent while you made money behind my back. 3 years. The man beside her shifted awkwardly. I think I should leave. Yes, you should, I snapped, never breaking eye contact with my sister. The guy shot to his feet and disappeared without another word. Emily swallowed hard. Listen, I can explain. I don't want explanations. I want numbers. My voice was ice. How much have you made off of me? I didn't steal anything, she whispered, glancing around, as if worried someone might hear. I let out a slow breath through my nose. Oh really? Then tell me, where do you sleep when your apartment is booked? Emily averted her gaze. In 5-star hotels, I answered for her. Right, with my money. Her lips parted, scrambling for a response. How much? I pressed, planting my hands firmly on the table. I want the exact number. Emily. She clicked her tongue. Why does it even matter? Why are you so upset? It's not like you don't have money. Silence. A heavy, suffocating silence. The soft piano music in the background was the only sound between us. I exhaled sharply, a bitter smirk curling on my lips. There it is, I murmured. That arrogance, that complete lack of remorse. Emily had never felt guilty, not once. I leaned in, my voice a sharp whisper. Tell me something, Emily. If it didn't matter, why lie? Why pretend you couldn't afford the electric bill while living like a queen? Her throat bobbed. Because, she finally muttered, I knew if I told you the truth, you'd stop paying for me. A humorless laugh rose in my chest. Unbelievable. Emily lifted her chin defiantly. Look, Alex, I didn't do anything illegal. You were just naive enough never to ask. Boom. The final blow. I stared at her for a long moment. Then, I chuckled. You know what? You're right. Emily blinked. What? You're right, I repeated. I was a fool. I grabbed my phone from the table and slid it back into my pocket. But do you know what the best thing is about realizing that? I straightened. Now, I can fix it. And with that, I turned and walked away. Emily remained frozen, her lips slightly parted, her face pale. She didn't know it yet. But her luxury lifestyle had just died. The echo of my footsteps followed me out into the cold night. My mind was clear, sharper than ever. There was no turning back. Sliding into my car, I pulled out my phone and dialed my bank. Good evening. I'd like to cancel an automatic transfer. Of course, sir. What amount? $2,500 per month, I said flatly. My sister's rent payment. A pause. Then the operator typed something. Understood, Mr. Morgan. The transfer has been cancelled. Done. Game over. The next morning, my phone buzzed relentlessly. Emily, 10 missed calls. I smirked. Let it ring. A message popped up seconds later. Emily, Alex, we need to talk. It's urgent. I rolled my eyes. Me, urgent? Like paying rent without my money? The 3 dots appeared immediately. Emily, don't be childish. Let's just talk. Me, you have nothing left to say to me. A pause. Then another message. Emily, Alex. Damn it, what did you do? The landlord just called me. He says the payment never arrived. Did you cancel it? Me, yes. Another pause. Then, Emily, you can't do this to me, Alexander. I grinned, tossing my phone onto the nightstand. Oh, Emily. I already did. Silence. Then another call, ignored. I exhaled, relishing the stillness for the first time in years. No obligations. No weight of someone else's mess pressing down on me. Just quiet. I got up, made myself a coffee, and let the moment settle. Then my phone rang again. An unknown number. I hesitated before answering. Yes? The voice on the other end was sharp. Mr. Morgan, this is James Murphy, the landlord of the Fifth Avenue apartment. I set my cup down, already sensing where this was going. How can I help you? It's about your sister. I just found out what she's been doing with my property. I didn't even blink. I'm listening. A neighbor tipped me off last night. I checked online, she's been renting the apartment on Airbnb without my permission. I sighed, almost amused, not surprised. What's your plan? Eviction. A slow satisfaction spread through me. Good call. The lease is under her name, right? He asked. It is. Then I need you to come in and sign the lease cancellation. Tell me when. 4 o'clock today. See you then. I hung up, feeling lighter than I had in years. At exactly 4 p.m., I arrived at the landlord's office and signed the papers with calm detachment. Each stroke of my pen felt like sealing the fate of Emily's carefully crafted illusion. No more luxury at my expense. As I stepped out of the building, my phone exploded with calls. Emily. First, I ignored them. Then the 4th call came. Then the 5th. I answered. What's up, sis? You, her voice trembled with rage. You cancelled my lease. The landlord just kicked me out. How could you do this? I let out a quiet chuckle. Me? No, Emily, you did this to yourself. Silence. Then a sharp inhale. Alex, please, She pleaded, voice cracking. I have nowhere to go. No money. Nothing. I leaned against a lamppost, staring at the city around me. Welcome to reality. A muffled sob. I can't live on the street. Not my problem. But I'm your sister. Were you thinking about that when you used me like an ATM? More silence. But this time, she knew. She had lost. You always said you worked hard for the life you deserved. I said coldly. What 5-star hotel will you be staying at tonight? Nothing. Don't call me again. I hung up, then blocked her number. 1 year later, the rain tapped against my apartment window in Los Angeles, a steady rhythm in the quiet night. I sat on my small balcony, half a glass of wine in hand, watching the city lights blur against the wet pavement. A full year since I walked away from Emily, since I cut the cord tethering me to her endless chaos. My life was better now, no more unexpected calls, no more lies wrapped in desperation, no more wondering if I could afford to be generous. And yet, that unease settled in my chest the moment my phone buzzed an hour ago. Unknown number, Alex. Please, I need to talk to you. It's important. I stared at the message, the glow of the screen pressing against the darkness. I knew it was her, knew she had finally found another way in. I ignored it. Then my phone rang, again, and again. By the 4th call, I picked up. What do you want? Silence, then a shaky breath. Alex. Her voice was different, fragile. Don't hang up. I clenched my jaw. Every instinct told me to hang up, block her, move on, but something stopped me. For the first time in years, Emily didn't sound smug. She didn't sound untouchable. She sounded broken. We have nothing to talk about, I said flatly. Yes, we do. A whisper. We've had it all this time. You just never wanted to listen. I let out a humorless laugh. Listen to what? How you stole from me, lied to me? A pause. You know? Yes, Emily, I know. Another pause. Then, softer, I'm sorry. I pinched the bridge of my nose. I don't care. I'm in New York, in a terrible hostel in the Bronx. Not my problem. I know. Her voice was different, not defensive, not manipulative, just raw. I just wanted to tell you, you were right. A strange chill crept up my spine. Right about what? Everything. Silence stretched between us. When you let me fall, I thought you'd cave, she admitted. I thought you'd come back. I said nothing. But you didn't. The wind rattled against my balcony. And I didn't know how to do anything without you. My throat tightened. This was what I wanted, wasn't it? For her to learn, to pay for what she'd done. Then why did my chest feel so damn heavy? I didn't call to ask for money, she said quietly. I didn't call to beg you to fix my life. I swallowed hard. Then why? To ask if you'll ever forgive me. My fingers curled around the phone. I tried to find an answer. I don't know. Tell me when you do. And then she hung up. Now, sitting in the cool night air, the message still lingered on my screen. Alex, please, I need to talk to you. It's important. I closed my eyes. A year had passed since I took my life back, since I stopped being my sister's safety net, and yet, sitting here with a half-empty glass of wine, I knew our story wasn't over. I didn't reply. But I didn't delete the message either. I stared at the city lights and asked myself the one question I couldn't answer. What would you do?